Former featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski is taking on Diego Lopes for the vacant featherweight championship belt at UFC 314. And I'm going to go ahead and give you the best picks and predictions, not just on YouTube, not just on planet Earth, but quite literally the best picks and predictions in the entire universe. I'm talking aliens coming down from freaking Mars or whatever planet they're coming from are not going to be able to give you better picks and predictions. 13 for 13 this weekend! There comes a time in every man's UFC journey where they have to unfortunately pick against their favorite fighter ever. And my time has come. Diego Lopes is taking on Alexander Volkanovski, and he is more than likely going to win this fight. Let me just explain, okay? Alexander Volkanovski is phenomenal. Arguably one of the greatest UFC fighters that we have ever seen. One of the GOATs of the featherweight division. Okay, this man has had 7-8 title defenses against some killers. Max Holloway, Brian Ortega. He's seen it all. He's seen strikers. He's seen grapplers. He's seen wrestlers. He's seen it all. And Alexander Volkanovski does a great job of nullifying a lot of his opponents. Whether you're a striker, whether you're a grappler, he goes in there with a phenomenal game plan to beat you. However, Diego Lopes is not just some ordinary guy. I don't understand how people are so low on Diego Lopes. We are talking about the guy that came in on a few days' notice against Movsar Evloev. Arguably one of the best grapplers in the UFC and that division. And held his own. Almost put him in some nasty positions to finish that fight. We are talking about Diego Lopes, the guy that came in and knocked out one of the best strikers in the division, Sedriques Youssef. This is Diego Lopes we're talking about. We are not talking about some random ordinary bum that's just competing for the featherweight title because the UFC feels like it. We're talking about Diego Lopes. I do believe that Diego Lopes is ultimately a little too dangerous for Alexander Volkanovski. Yes, Volk can go in there. He can nullify the grappling a little bit. That is not going to make Diego Lopes stop. Yes, Alexander Volkanovski could go in there. He could nullify the striking a little bit. That is not going to stop Diego Lopes that next round. This guy, if he is losing, is going to go out like a bat, swinging, looking for Alexander Volkanovski's chin. And as soon as Volk goes like this and throws his chin back, do not be surprised if Diego Lopes goes in there and just lands a nasty... Volkanovski's going like this with his chin. Diego Lopes just comes up and under. And the fight could end just like that. I don't think it will. Obviously, it's kind of hard to land an uppercut when a guy's going backwards like this, but Alexander Volkanovski is too susceptible. He's too susceptible to Diego Lopes' strengths. That is ultimately why I'm picking against him. It's also the fact that Alexander Volkanovski is 36 years old. I don't care what you think about the age, this, that. 0-35-1. 0-35-1 is the UFC stat for champions above the age of 35 competing for a championship. 0-35-1. There is not a single guy that has won their fight. And the only guy that came closest to winning their fight was Jan Blachowicz in that split or majority draw or whatever it was, split draw, majority draw, whatever it was, against Ankalaev, the only title fight that I remember going to a draw. And maybe Shevchenko Grasso, I don't know. I can't remember if that one, I think it was 2 that went, I think it was 2 when it was in Mexico City, and they were like, yo, we cannot give this to Valentina Shevchenko, so we're just going to call it a draw and keep it how it is. That doesn't give me too much confidence for this fight. Alexander Volkanovski is 36. He's on his way out of the sport, whether you want to admit it or not. Yes, he's probably got some pretty good years left. But Alexander Volkanovski doesn't want to fight up-and-comers anymore. He wants to fight for UFC gold. if he doesn't have a chance or an opportunity after this fight to fight for UFC gold, he may just retire. He may just call it quits and go to cooking. I would absolutely hate to see Volkanovski just retire on the spot like that without any, prior notice or letting his fans know, like, hey, this might be the last one. I would absolutely be... For Volkanovski to lose and then to just go and retire, I might honestly go into a depression for a few days. So with a heavy heart, it hurts me to pick against Alexander Volkanovski. I want to so bad to just pick Volk and tell you, yeah, Volkanovski is going to go in there and win this fight. But I think he is too susceptible to losing it. I just think everything is in Diego Lopes's favor when it comes to this UFC title. And I can't pick against what my brain is telling me to do. So the ultimately, that is how my brain feels right now. It's jumbling all over the place. It has no idea what to do because I'm picking against Alexander Volkanovski, but I have to. Give me Diego Lopes to go in there, do his thing, and find a finish within 5 rounds to beat Alexander Volkanovski for the vacant 145-pound UFC title. See you at the top versus the Scouser. I have to go with Paddy the Baddy Pimblett in this fight. I cannot sit here and confidently pick Michael Chandler. The IQ outside of the octagon is very, very high. Michael Chandler is a phenomenal mind in mixed martial arts. Outside of the octagon, inside of it, I don't know what happens. I don't know if it's the adrenaline. I don't know if it's just his coach taking his IQ and tossing it out of the arena. Michael Chandler is not the same fighter in the octagon and outside of it. Paddy the Baddy is going to find a way to capitalize on that and win this fight. Michael Chandler, I can just envision him going in, taking advantage on the feet, outstriking Paddy, dropping him, and then following him to the ground. Following Paddy to his strong suit. Why do I envision that? Because I feel like I've seen it a million times with Michael Chandler. For some reason, he has the perfect game plan, and then he just throws it right out the window. Why would you grapple in this fight if you're Michael Chandler? I have no idea. But I guarantee you, we will see Michael Chandler not just once, but multiple times try and grapple throughout this fight. Or engage in some sort of grappling. That is going to benefit Paddy the Baddy, and I ultimately think he's going to go in there and find a submission. I was going to say sub, and then mission came out too, so I said submission. Find a submission in this fight over Michael Chandler and send this guy to the bottom. I am so tired of Michael Chandler losing and somehow still getting thrown up higher in the rankings. How? Michael Chandler literally reminds me of the Tai Tuivasa of this division. Somehow, some way, he keeps losing fights, and then he still keeps getting top 10 ranked opponents. Like, I was surprised when he fought down at Paddy the Baddy. I think Paddy's like 13 or 14 or something, like just cracked into the rankings. I was surprised when I saw him take this fight. I really thought Michael Chandler was going to finesse his way to a #1 contender fight with Arman Tsarukyan. That's literally what was going on for a few weeks on MMA Twitter. Arman Tsarukyan and Michael Chandler calling each other out, trying to fight. If Michael Chandler would have gotten a #1 fight, I don't know. I don't understand it. I have no idea how Michael Chandler keeps getting ranked opponents. So be it, though. If he beats Paddy the Baddy, I don't even know what to do with Michael Chandler anymore. Let's hope he doesn't. Let's hope Paddy the Baddy goes in and you know what? Let's not hope. This is going to be 100% accurate. Paddy the Baddy's going in and he's going to beat Michael Chandler, whether it be via submission or whether it be just dominance and winning a close, not dominance. I guess Paddy is probably not going to dominate Michael Chandler, but winning a close enough fight to where they can sway the judges' scorecards to Paddy and not Michael Chandler. I don't care if Michael Chandler gets robbed like Jared Gordon did. I would be happy. I would be happy. Give me Paddy the Baddy to win this fight by Do I want to go with submission or decision? I'm going to go with decision. Give me Paddy the Baddy to win this fight by decision. Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull. I will never again in my entire life confidently go and pick Yair Rodriguez, if ever pick him again for a UFC fight. Yair Rodriguez disgusted me against Brian Ortega. The fact that Brian Ortega, when he fought Yair Rodriguez that second time, went in, rolled his ankle during the introductions, literally could not fight normally. Okay, I remember Brian Ortega talking about how he started tweaking about his ankle and the fact that he literally rolled it the second before the fight started. And he thought he was cooked. He thought he was screwed. He thought he was going to lose that fight. Yair Rodriguez also came in and beat him. He whooped him that first round. He absolutely smoked Brian Ortega in that first round. Comes out the second round, comes out the third round, gets submitted. I am never, ever, ever going to pick Yair Rodriguez again. Give me Patricio Pitbull to come in here and win this fight however he wants. Submission, decision, knockout, whatever he wants. Patricio Pitbull is going to go in there. He's just a more gritty fighter. He's just a more gritty fighter. He's down. He's tough. I can't pick Yair Rodriguez. I just can't. I'm sorry. Patricio Pitbull is going to be the pick. Is he going to finish Yair? I don't think so. I think Yair is going to be very tough in this fight. I don't think he's going to get finished. But I do think that Patricio Pitbull is going to put a beating, a clinic on Yair Rodriguez and win a dominant decision win for UFC 314. Bryce Thug Nasty Mitchell versus Jean Silva. This fight is scary. I want to pick Jean Silva confidently, but I can't. I'm just going to go ahead and pick Jean Silva for the sole fact that he could end this fight in the blink of an eye whenever he wants. He carries power through all 3 rounds in this fight. But Bryce Mitchell is so tough. I just keep thinking about when he fought Dan Ige and when his eye looked like a literal tomato and he pulled through in that fight. He pulled through and he won that fight. That is ridiculous. That gives me a lot of confidence if I'm on the Bryce Mitchell side. But I'm not. I am not banking on Bryce Mitchell going in there and out-grappling Jean Silva and controlling him for like 13 or 14 minutes of this fight. I can't bank on it. Jean Silva can end this fight in a second. Bryce Mitchell can't. He's not going to submit Jean Silva. He's not going to TKO him. He's not going to knock him out. Bryce Mitchell can control his way to a victory, but that is a lot harder said than done, especially over 15 minutes. I think Jean Silva is going to go in there. I think he's going to obviously be controlled for a little bit. But once he gets his feet, dipped in the water a little bit, he gets his toes out of the sand, he gets his hands warmed up a little bit, he is going to find Bryce Mitchell's chin and knock him out. I'm telling you right now, he's knocking Bryce Mitchell out. I think Jean Silva has more power than Josh Emmett. Call me crazy. But Jean Silva is nasty. I mean, the stuff that he has done to his opponents, knocks out Melsick with a 1-2. Drew Dober, we're talking about the tough Drew Dober. We saw what Jean Silva did to Drew Dober. I'm picking Jean Silva, and it's solely because I can't trust Bryce. Bryce can win this fight, and he's very live to win this fight, but I can't trust Bryce over 15 minutes more than I can trust Jean Silva over 15 minutes. Jean Silva is the pick, and it's going to be by KO. Nikita Krylov versus Dominick Reyes. I'm picking Dominick Reyes. He has looked very good in his recent fights. Yes, he had a little slump in his UFC career that set him back a little bit, but Dominick Reyes looks phenomenal. He looks top 10, top 5 worthy right now in the light heavyweight division, and he's on a win streak. Dominick Reyes has changed the outcome of his career completely. And I do believe that is going to continue with the win over Nikita Krylov here. Yes, Nikita could go in, he could out-wrestle Dom, he could control him, he could, land some damage on the ground. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Dominick Reyes is going to come in here with phenomenal takedown defense, keep this fight on the feet, outstruck Nikita Krylov to either a dominant decision or even potentially a knockout. Nikita is coming off a few, I think it's 2 years. I don't think he's fought in like 2 years, or it might be over 2 years. Nikita has not fought. He is going to have a little bit of ring rust, and Dominick Reyes, with the confidence that he's spurring right now, is not going to allow Nikita to come in, dabble his toes in the water a little bit, get kind of familiar with the octagon again, get into his groove. Dominick Reyes is not going to allow any of that to happen. He's going to go in there. He's going to put the pressure on Nikita. He's going to outstrike him, and he's going to win this fight. Give me Dominick Reyes by knockout. Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. I'm picking Sean Woodson because I ultimately think that his range and his distance management is going to win him this fight. A lot of people have been saying, oh, well, Dan Ige can go in and he can out-wrestle Sean Woodson and he can, take him down and beat him up a little bit on the ground. Dan Ige is not a wrestler. And with the frame that Sean Woodson possesses, there is no way that Dan Ige is just going to go in as a non-wrestler and just take him down and control him. Sean Woodson is too lengthy, he's too long, and his distance management is what is going to win him this fight. He's going to pitter-patter his way to a decision win over Dan Ige by just landing more strikes and avoiding Dan Ige's strikes. That's it. It just comes down to that. Sean Woodson is going to be the lengthier fighter, and he's going to beat Dan Ige by decision. Xiaonan versus Virna, Jandiroba. The pick is Virna. She is going to be the way better grappler in this fight. And if it gets to the ground, she is very live for a submission. Xiaonan is a good striker, but I don't think her striking and her okay takedown defense is going to be enough to beat Virna. Give me Virna to get this fight to the ground, to control it, to potentially find a few submission attempts. Is she going to capitalize on that? Potentially. We saw Xiaonan get literally put out and then woken back up by Zhang Wei Li. Virna is a phenomenal grappler. Is she on the level of Zhang Wei Li? Probably not. But her jiu-jitsu is insane, and if she can get this fight to the ground, I do believe that she's going to find a submission over Xiaonan. The more confident pick, though, is Virna by decision. Jim Miller versus Chase Hooper. Jim Miller is a savvy veteran that has seen it all, but Chase Hooper is next level when it comes to the grappling. This guy is a nasty, up-and-coming mixed martial artist, and he's going to win this fight. Is he going to finish Jim Miller? Potentially, but Jim Miller is tough. Jim Miller is tough, sometimes too tough for his own good. But I do believe that Chase Hooper is going to go in there and find a submission over Jim Miller. Give me Chase Hooper to win this fight via submission. Julian Erosa versus Darren Elkins. Darren Elkins is very gritty, and he's pretty good. He's pretty good, but I do think that Julian Erosa is going to go in there and beat Darren Elkins. The only way I see Darren Elkins winning this fight is if he can go in and control Julian Erosa for 14 of the 15 minutes in this fight. If he can't just sit and lay and drop some pitter-patter shots on Julian Erosa, Erosa is going to find a way to win this fight. He is the younger fighter. He's the quicker fighter. And I would argue that he has better jiu-jitsu in this fight. Give me Julian Erosa to find a way to win a decision over Darren Elkins. Sedriques Dumas versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. For some reason, I believe there's going to be a lot of clinch work in this fight. Not too much striking, not too much grappling, just clinch work. Up against the cage, holding each other there, pushing each other up against the fence, trying to get that control time, I guess, to win the fight. This is going to be a duddy fight, but I do think Michal Oleksiejczuk's striking advantage in this fight is going to help him find the victory. Sedriques Dumas, I don't know what it is, man, but I just can't trust him. I just can't trust him to win this fight. Give me Michal Oleksiejczuk to win a close decision over Sedriques Dumas. Sumudaerji versus Mitch Raposo. Give me Sumudaerji to win this fight solely because I think he presents a little bit more damage than Mitch Raposo. Mitch Raposo is not dangerous at all. Okay, if he was going in here with some sort of maybe submission threat or knockout threat over Sumudaerji, okay, I would absolutely be all over Mitch Raposo. But I think Sumudaerji is going to be the more dangerous fighter. He is going to be the one, if anything, who's going to be live for a knockout in this fight. So I'm picking Sumudaerji to win this fight by dealing more damage and winning it on the scorecards via decision over Mitch Raposo. Tresean Gore is very, very underrated, and he's coming off a phenomenal win in his last UFC bout. But none of that matters. Marco Tulio is going to go in there. He's going to impose his will on Tresean Gore, use his length, and absolutely dominate Tresean Gore. More than likely find a way to knock him out or TKO him on the ground. Give me Marco Tulio to beat Tresean Gore at UFC 314 by knockout or technical knockout. Nora Cornell is taking on Haley Cowan, and Nora is going to go in there. She's going to be the better striker, the better grappler, and overall the better mixed martial artist. There's no chance that Nora Cornell loses this fight unless it's either a robbery or Haley just makes it weirdly close and Nora loses the fight herself. That is the only way Nora Cornell loses his fight, so give me Nora by decision. Guys, if you enjoyed the picks and the predictions, do not forget to drop down, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and comment in the comment section. Let me know which prediction I got wrong. I do believe that this is going to be 13 for 13, perfect UFC 314 card, but maybe I missed something. Let me know if I missed something in the comments. Let me know. Sway me in the right direction, boys and girls. And listen, thank you so much for watching the video. I will be live for the entire UFC 314 card on YouTube. So come on in, say what's up during the live stream, and I will see you guys then. Enjoy the rest of your night. Deuces.